Hello friends, welcome to Dungeons & Dragonfly, where I adapt various characters for use in D&D. I'm Dragonfly9078, and today I'm building Dr. Ludwig, better known as Team Fortress's medic. I hope you enjoy the build, and afterwards, hey, maybe check out my Patreon, if you want. So what do we want from this build? Well, we need a medigun, a source of infinite healing that we can use to keep our allies in fighting shape. We also need to keep ourselves healthy while healing our team, so we'll need a way to passively regenerate our own HP. And we need our Uber Charge, a way to make an ally invincible to decimate enemy lines. Looking over at ability scores, I'll be using the standard point array. No multi-class minimums for this one, we're picking a class and sticking it out to the end. Starting off with a 12 in strength. We don't need it for much, but we do sometimes need to break some bones. Dexterity's 13, so we can shoot syringes at people and not miss. Then Constitution is 14, so we don't have to worry about our own health and can stick to healing others. Our 15 goes into Intelligence, since the medic invented magical healing technology, but we'll dump Wisdom since he spent so much time thinking about whether he could, without thinking about whether he should. Then we'll finish off with a 10 in Charisma, because the whole mad scientist thing is a little off-putting. The medic is a human, but he's German, which points toward Planeshift Innistrad, and he's a mad scientist, which points specifically to Nephalia. Nephalian humans get +1 Intelligence and +1 Charisma, but we'll switch the Charisma boost to Dexterity. They also get proficiency in 4 skills, so we'll take History, Medicine, Nature, and Perception. Then, like the others in the TF2 crew, we're a Mercenary Veteran, giving us proficiency in Athletics and Persuasion. Since the medic has his magical healing tech, we'll make him a Wizard, giving us 2 wizard skills like Arcana and Insight. We can reload with Arcane Recovery, regaining expended spell slots on a short rest once per day. The slots can have total level up to half of our wizard level, and none of them can be higher than 5th level individually. For cantrips, Light lets us see what we're operating on, Prestidigitation cleans the blood off of our lab coat, and Message calls in the next patient. We'll take Mage Armor, since lab coats don't protect against bullets, False Life to overheal ourselves for 1d4 + 4 temporary HP, and Find Familiar for our pet doves. Healing Elixir is one of the few healing spells on the wizard list. It takes a minute to cast and produces a healing potion that heals 2d4 + 2 HP to anyone who uses their action to drink it. It's not worth casting in the middle of combat, but the potion does last for 24 hours, so we can make a few and pass them out in our downtime. We'll take Charm Person to convince patients onto our operating table. They know they were charmed when the spell ends, but at that point we'll likely have their chest open, so they'll at least wait until we close them up before attacking, at which point we can use Expeditious Retreat to just get the hell out of there. At 2nd level, we'll become a Theurge, letting us get abilities from the Cleric's Life Domain. As an Arcane Initiate, we can take one of the Life Domain spells in place of one of our Wizard spells each level. Then, once we have all of the Domain spells, we can just take any Cleric spell. The spells are added to our spellbook and count as Wizard spells for us, but other Wizards can't copy them from our book. We can also channel Arcana once per rest, choosing between the Theurge-specific Divine Arcana, which boosts the save DC or attack roll of our next spell by 2 as a bonus action, and the Life Domain's Preserve Life. As an action, we can heal any number of creatures within 30 feet of us for a total amount of HP equal to 5 times our wizard level. We divide that number however we choose, but we can't heal a creature to more than half of their maximum HP this way. Our domain spell here is Cure Wounds, a touch spell that heals 1d8 plus our intelligence modifier. Combine this with our Dove Familiar being able to deliver touch spells with its reaction, and we have a rudimentary medigun. I don't want to rely on Archimedes too much though, since he can die real easily, but this'll do for now. We'll also grab Longstrider to match the speed of our faster teammates as we heal them. Our other 1st level domain spell is Bless, which uses our concentration to add a d4 to all the attacks and saves that 3 creatures make. Then Shield throws up a quick projectile shield to boost our AC in a pinch. At 4th level, it feels appropriate to take the Medic feat, bumping our Wisdom by 1, upgrading our Medicine proficiency to an Expertise, and letting us treat our friends during a short rest. We can make a DC 15 Medicine check for each of up to 6 creatures. For each one that succeeds, that creature can heal the max amount for 1 hit die they spend during the rest. This will fall off a bit in utility as we level up, but it doesn't cost any spell slots, and really I just wanted the Medicine expertise. For spells at this level, Mending can fix up a teammate's clothes while our Medigun fixes their body, and Lesser Restoration can cure a disease or an instance of blindness, deafness, paralysis, or poison. We'll upgrade our projectile shield a bit too, with Warding Wind. We call up a whirlwind that moves along with us, deafening us and any other creatures in the area, hedging out gases and flames, acting as difficult terrain to other creatures, and giving any ranged attacks that pass through it disadvantage. Worth noting, wizards do get proficiency with light crossbows, which is what I'll call our syringe gun. It's kind of secondary to what medic wants to do, so we won't really focus on it, but it is in the build, and it's our main attack. We'll take Spiritual Weapon at 5th level, pretty much just because it's a domain spell that we need to take to access other cleric spells. I suppose it can also serve as the damaging function of the projectile shield. More relevantly, we can use the Vaccinator to cast protection from energy, giving a creature resistance to our choice of acid, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder damage. In TF2, the Vaccinator blunts either fire, explosion, or bullet type damage. Fire is fire, of course, and we can call thunder explosions. For bullets, we'll pick up protection from ballistics at 6th level, along with the reanimator. D&D doesn't have natural respawns like TF2 does, so we can use Revivify to respawn a creature who has died in the last minute. They come back with 1 HP, though the spell can't replace missing body parts. 6th level Theurges can use their Channel Arcana twice between rests, and they get the 1st level benefit of their domain, in our case, Disciple of Life. Our healing spells now heal an additional 2 plus the spell's level HP, so Cure Wounds, for example, would heal an extra 3 points. Our next domain spell is Beacon of Hope. For up to a minute, any number of creatures within 30 feet of us get advantage on Wisdom and Death saves, and they heal the max amount from any healing spells they're affected by. We'll also pick up Glyph of Warding, a tricky spell that stores magic in a mark. When a trigger of our choice occurs, that magic is released, either in the form of a 3rd level or lower spell that we cast into the glyph, or just in the form of an explosion, dealing 5d8 damage in our choice of acid, cold, fire, lightning, or thunder to any creatures within 20 feet who fail a dexterity save. Hey, you know what weapon I haven't mentioned? The Bone Saw. You know what isn't designed to be a weapon? Bone Saws. That means it's improvised, and that means Tavern Brawler. Plus, the dude literally has a taunt called Oktoberfest. Our constitution goes up by 1, we get proficiency with improvised weapons, our unarmed strikes deal a d4 of damage, and we can try to grapple as a bonus action after hitting with an unarmed strike or improvised weapon attack. Then we'll get Death Ward, which can keep a creature from dying once, dropping them to 1 HP if they would go below, or just fizzling instant death effects like Power Word Kill. And Speak with Dead can reanimate a dead person, or even just their head, to answer 5 questions about things they knew in life. At 9th level we get Guardian of Faith, another domain spell that's not really in character, as it summons a spectral guardian that attacks foes who get too close, and Rary's Telepathic Bond, which establishes team speak with our whole team, linking up to 8 creatures telepathically for an hour. 10th level Theurges are Arcane Priests, giving us Blessed Healer. Whenever we cast a spell that heals another creature, we also heal 2 plus the spell's level HP ourselves. And our last cantrip is Sapping Sting, a shot with a syringe gun that deals up to 4d4 necrotic damage on a failed constitution save and knocks the target prone. Then Mass Cure Wounds overloads the medigun, healing up to 6 creatures within 30 feet of a point we choose for 3d8 plus our intelligence modifier. Odaluk's Resilient Sphere is the first iteration of our Uber Charge. We enclose a creature in a sphere of force that is immune to all damage and blocks everything from passing through it. The creature can push against it to move at half their speed, but since the ball blocks everything, they can't actually attack through it. Still, they can stand in the way to block shots or stop the payload from advancing, so it's not useless. Our last domain spell is Raise Dead. We can spend an hour reviving a creature that has died in the past 10 days. They revive with 1 HP, and the spell closes mortal wounds, but they do take a -4 to their attacks, saves, and ability checks. That penalty is reduced every time they take a long rest until it disappears after the 4th long rest. Obviously, Revivify is the better option in the middle of combat, since Raise Dead takes an hour to cast. And speaking of Revivify, there's also Contingency, which stores a 5th level or lower spell that takes an action to cast and can target ourself, then automatically cast that spell on us the first time a condition we choose is met. So we can set up a contingency to revivify us if we ever die, since, we're the healer, and the other TF2 members probably don't have Revivify. At 12th level, we'll round off our Constitution and Wisdom to 16 and 10 respectively. And since we have all of our domain spells, we can take any cleric spell we have spell slots for. My pick is Healing Word, which heals a creature within 60 feet for 1d4 plus our intelligence modifier as a bonus action. I actually like this better for our medigun than the Cure Wounds Find Familiar combo. It only takes our bonus action, so we can still fire our syringe gun. It has a 60-foot range and doesn't need to wait for our familiar to relocate, so it's more versatile. And it doesn't have the weakness of relying on Archimedes to stay alive. There's also Aura of Vitality, which is kind of like an upgraded Healing Word. For up to a minute, we can use our bonus action to heal a creature within 30 feet of us for 2d6 HP. Then Tether Essence is an interesting spell that links the health of 2 creatures if they both fail a Constitution save, though they can also choose to fail. Once linked, whenever one creature gains or loses HP, the other gains or loses the same amount. So we can link, say, a heavy to a sniper, hang back with the sniper where it's safe, and just keep healing them, which in turn keeps healing the heavy as he's running into enemy gunfire. 14th level Theurges are Arcane High Priests, which gives us the 17th level benefit for our domain 3 levels early. In our case, with Supreme Healing, Our healing spells automatically heal the maximum amount that their dice could roll. So our healing words automatically roll 4s, cure wounds automatically heal 8s, Aura of Vitality automatically rolls 2 6s, etc, etc. Warding Bond is our next Ubercharge iteration, making a creature we choose harder to damage, as they get +1 to their AC and resistance to all damage. The downside is that we take the same amount of damage they take, so it isn't a perfect Ubercharge, but at least they can still shoot while this one's on. Aid overheals a group of creatures, increasing up to 3 creatures' current and maximum HP by 5, plus another 5 for every spell level above 2nd we use to cast the spell. And Demiplane summons a door to an extra dimensional space, either creating a new one or linking to one that we're already familiar with. Our 16th level ASI will bump our intelligence up to 18, and we get Mass Healing Word, which effectively casts Healing Word on up to 6 creatures within 60 feet of us, healing each of them for 1d4 plus our intelligence modifier. At 17th level we get 9th level spells, like the Cleric's Regenerate, which immediately heals a creature for 4d8 plus 15 HP, then heals them 1 HP every turn, which our Disciple of Life boosts to 10 HP every turn. The spell does take a full minute to cast, so it probably needs to be cast pre-combat, but that's some quick healing to keep the heavy in the fight. But we also get Invulnerability, which makes us immune to all damage for up to 10 minutes with our concentration. Now, when I was first thinking about this build, I was like, okay, Ubercharge is easy. Just cast Invulnerability on your teammate and you're good. But then I actually looked at the spell, and it can only be cast on yourself. So we have a couple of options. We can Warding Bond with a teammate to have their damage and Invulnerability ourselves to protect them and us, or we can somehow cast a self-target spell on an ally. And that's why we took Glyph of Warding and Demiplane. Glyph of Warding can store a spell of any level as long as you upcast the glyph with that level spell slot, so we can store Invulnerability in it if we cast it as a 9th level spell. The problem is, Glyph can't move more than 10 feet or it fizzles, so we can't just put it on our crossbow and apply it to our friend. So what we do is we cast a 9th level Glyph of Invulnerability in our Demiplane. Then we cast Demiplane later and have our teammate open the door to trigger the glyph, applying the invulnerability to themselves, because when the glyph is triggered, the creature triggering it is the subject of the spell it releases. It does take a lot of setup, and we definitely have more economical and easy to access options, but none that will make them completely immune to damage while also letting them attack. Plus, with Glyph casting the spell, it lasts for the full duration, so that's guaranteed 10 minutes of damage immunity, so our heavy can just go ham. 18th level Theurges can use their Channel Arcana 3 times per rest, and we master 2 spells. We pick 1 first level and 1 second level wizard spell, and we can cast them at will without using a spell slot. Since we're a Theurge, the Cleric spells we added to our spellbook count as wizard spells for us. So for our first level spell, we'll take Healing Word for an unlimited use medigun, and our second level will be Warding Bond to connect a healing stream to any of our teammates whenever we need to blunt damage against them and make them harder to hit. We'll also pick up Heal from the Cleric list, which restores 70 HP to a creature within 60 feet and ends any blindness, deafness, or diseases that they have. We'll cap off our intelligence with our last ASI, so our unlimited healing words are restoring a total of 12 HP per cast, then pick up Mass Heal and Fizban's Platinum Shield. Mass Heal heals a total of 700 HP, divided among any number of creatures within 60 feet of us, also ending any blinding, deafening, or diseases on them. And Fizban's Shield is one final budget Ubercharge. The shielded creature has half cover, evasion, and resistance to acid, cold, lightning, fire, and thunder damage, plus we can move the shield to another creature as a bonus action. Our capstone is the 20th level of wizard for signature spells. We pick 2 3rd level wizard spells, and then they're always prepared, and we can cast each one without a spell slot once per rest. My picks are Revivify to restore any downed teammates, and Aura of Vitality for a more robust alternative to Healing Word. We'll also pick up one last spell, Power Word Heal. We touch a creature, they regain all their HP, they stop being charmed, frightened, paralyzed, or stunned, and they can use their reaction to stand up if they're prone. Now that the build is complete, the question becomes, how good is it? Well, we have infinite healing. We can cast Healing Word as a bonus action every turn to heal a friend for 12 and ourselves for 3, which admittedly aren't the highest numbers, but can be applied in unlimited amount of times. So we can top everyone off in between fights with no real cost, meaning our friends never have to spend hit dice, and we never go into combat at less than full HP. If we do need more robust healing options, we have plenty of better heals, and several really powerful ones like Heal and Power Word Heal that we can even double up with Tether Essence. And we have a number of ways to keep our colleagues from taking damage in the first place, from giving attacks disadvantage to giving resistance and outright invulnerability. On the other hand, if we're caught without friends, we're kind of in trouble, because we're doing pitiful damage with our light crossbow and our sapping sting. We also run into an issue with casting Healing Word every turn, which is that if we use our bonus action to cast a spell, we can't cast another spell in the same turn unless it's a cantrip that only takes an action to cast. And finally, a number of our more impressive tricks like the Glyph Demiplane Invulnerability combo, or hell, even just Healing Elixir, take prep time to set up. So we're better if we aren't caught by surprise, because some of our stuff just isn't viable during combat.
When the patient woke up, his skeleton was missing, and the doctor was never heard from again! Anyway, that's how I lost my medical license.
Thank you for watching, friends. I hope you enjoyed the build. No poll this week. I've got something specific in mind for, well, actually the next 4 builds. April's going to be very busy. I'm planning to have 4 builds come out in 4 weeks, so look forward to that. If you have any feedback or suggestions for characters you'd like to see me build, please leave them in the comments below, and they could show up in a future poll. Leave a like or subscribe if you want to see more, and if you want to support what I'm doing here, you can check the description for the link to my Patreon, for access to the Discord channel, early access to future builds, and exclusive Patreon content. Thanks again for watching. I will see y'all later.